Hey guys, so today's a very special video filled with tons of super important information for you to improve at duos in this Fortnite competitive season. I really cover the details of how to properly VOD review and figure out what you need to prioritize in terms of what you need to fix. In this specific video, I show you how to find those top priority mistakes and get better extremely quickly. Guys, before today's video starts, if you want to support the creator on your screen right now so I can continue to post free valuable content on YouTube, then check out the first links in the description. The first one offers one-on-one private coaching with myself, where you can get better at Fortnite at a rapid rate and learn what your mistakes are from a professional. And the second link offers a esports grade mouse from oneclickmouse.com. This is my very own gaming brand that I have actually created myself. And if you want a high quality mouse but at an affordable price, you could buy the Aspire Pro to use to compete, to practice, to play tournaments. And I really think that this is something that you guys will like, so check out oneclickmouse.com. And now back to the video. All right, so game one, first place, that's perfect, literally exactly what you need. Here is a big problem, but we'll look at that. This one kind of doesn't matter, but at the same time does, because it's not fully off spawn. This one's very good. This one's very good. Again, not a good game. Doesn't matter. Not a good game. So like, if you guys do well here, there's a chance. I want to watch this go and then...
Yeah, I don't remember.
These ones are fucking dumb, but...
Oh, he's through a move now. Oh, I remember this. This was...
Good skill, and then I say we just take this.
Yeah. And then I kill him, and then we just leave it. Try going for the loot with him.
Sorry, say it again.
We try going for the loot, and then it's just the grief, so we just leave it.
Yeah. What the? Just not interested in like a build fight that has like 3 teams. Nothing good enough. So far, mid game looks really strong. That's my sort of perception of it. So far, you're good. Like honestly, whether or not you took that fight doesn't change much. Like you're still fine. So, still maxing out, still like good heals.
Yeah, just not.
I agree with this, yeah, you should. Skip here, go to half at this point. Okay, so I mean, in terms of the notes, right? It's really simple.
Okay.
So far, I would say strong mid game. This is key. This is why Taste and Chapix do extremely well, right? Like this is very important because it actually sets you up. So I mean, if we just look at your half. Mats are amazing. I mean, it's not like perfect, but like you do have to spend some mats to go from 3rd to 5th. So I'm not surprised that you have to spend some. This is good. I would be very happy in your position, in other words. Good, I'll be worried about someone spraying you. Yep. Alright, so good. You're on closing side here, so it's something you have to watch out for. Cut in a little bit. Also goes uphill. You're gonna have to go up a lot of layers here, in my opinion. If you look in, I sort of just saw from your wall, but I'm gonna go jump through to illustrate. You kind of need to be on this layer or above. I don't even like this layer because if you really think about it, these guys have to take that space. You know, like they have to get up, and then you don't want them running into you. So I like this layer even better. 2nd or 3rd, your pick. These two are really nice. But everything else just sucks. So essentially, for you guys to get up there, you have to climb 3 layers. So it's like you have to recognize that here. While you're waiting in half is the best time to analyze the terrain changes. Right? You can ping in different spots throughout the zone.
I did.
That's cool. These works is off. I mean, the one's on your side. So. Time layers eventually. Good. Nice. I personally believe that this is a waste of time. Or access to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had this discussion. Most like teams in the tier 2 level will absolutely talk about this all the time, which is like, should I stay ahead or should I hang back? I think the answer is always he should be with you. The only time you should ever stagger is not waste time doing stuff like this, because the chances of you getting an impact, specifically an impact, not a kill, right? Specifically an impact is really low. And also like just ARing, it's like, it doesn't do much. If anything, it just wastes time for you and your team. The reason you do end up succeeding in this game, it's very obvious on the timeline to me, is you do find an impact. Right now, our goal to make it more consistent is to sort of like teach you how to find impacts really consistent, right? Because I mean, if this is true, obviously we're gonna watch the other games and really figure out if that's the issue, but we need to find impacts. So this huge refresh, what the fuck? that's good. That's really good. Obviously, I think he could have picked it up as well, but I'm fine as well. I don't even think he got that kill, right? He just recognized it. He saw it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, layer's good. Gonna reload everything and then start going ahead again. I do agree with the impact mentality here, because like you do need another kill. You can't play the rest of the game with that. Here's like a good opportunity. You recognize the solo in wood, right? So you absolutely could. I think the right side's better. You could like ramp up and then set up a ramp phase where you both just try to get in. You absolutely could do that. And the reason why it's so like strong, or like at least it's super easy to do it, is you have a sniper, right?
Yeah.
So you can snipe the wall and it's like quite literally one shot and then both of you are dead.
I think we do.
Yeah, perfect. You should aggro this guy. It's clear like solo in wood. Perfect. Yeah, beautiful. Solo in wood is super rare to find. It's almost like you got lucky. Like you should take it. That was a little risky. I'm a little worried about that, but you got there. You should be a little bit more patient and make sure he survives. Little worried. This is a whole tarp, right? So cones on bottom is important. I like the idea of dropping, but you're gonna have to drop 3 if you're gonna drop. Where do you rate?
In the middle of it, I think. Or we go below. Yeah.
I mean, do I even like this? What do you do if it pulls back? I personally like, aren't you in zone right here? Maybe you just sit here, just like these guys, and you're under height so they don't focus you. So you just wait. You wait for the transition and then you decide. But like pulling down here or going all the way down here, and what's worst case scenario now? Worst case scenario is it pulls back. And you have to climb so much, right? Because no way you're breaking through all of this and expecting to be safe. That's really awkward. So I think waiting up here and then waiting for the zone pull and then going is probably your play. I imagine because you guys do continue and get a bunch of kills, is that it pulls in a good direction. Right, so you're fine here. But if it does pull back, it's really awkward. I like it. Try, you just give it the play immediately. Going for plays, nothing's wrong with going for a play as long as you know exactly when to stop or cancel, because then there's no risk. Right here, I think cancel again. Yep. Awkward, yeah. I think you have to replace this before you move on, or do what you did. Yeah. So far, good kill. You need to just chill. Wait for you. You have the build. Oh my, clutch shot. Holy. The hard shot hit you. Let it pull. Pulled. Where did it pull? It pulled back here. Yeah. Good. This layer is beautiful because for the large majority of the first half, you don't need to go up. Go up later. So you can just play low for now. I think it's good. The only problem is the water. You can probably just play floors there. That's fine. Game's probably gonna end before that, but you guys are playing super well. What I don't like though is like, there's a lot of instances where it could have just gone wrong, right? And it sort of explains where the inconsistency is coming from. Just kinda, again, I'm making an assumption, but like it just feels like this could easily be a 15th place, right? For example, you guys dropping when you don't need to because of that pullback opportunity. If it pulls back, you're just dead. Like, it's like RNG. You're letting luck affect your game, you know? Also, instances where Raxo goes down to like 30 or 60 HP. That needs to be fixed. So let's go back, right? We need to discuss all of this. Because I think this is where the inconsistency potentially comes from. So, we talked about your first moving. This was good. I think we can talk a little bit in the future about like how to properly get impacts, because the impact that you did get was really good, obviously. It affected your game a lot. However, it's not something you forced or created. It's just fluidly sitting there, right? And which, in my personal opinion, is an inconsistent way of playing it. A good example of forcing an impact or something that you take advantage of an opportunity is the solo in whip, right? But I feel like that is actually a consistent way, because like even though you won't see a solo in wood all the time, you'll see very similar opportunities. Maybe like someone who got cracked next to you that's in brick, right? Like someone who's like in a third party situation, you can just take their tops because they're super unaware. Very good examples of really consistent impact, right?
Yeah.
And then even potentially the way you tarp, right, can set up impact much better. So we can talk a lot about that in other games, but okay, so this is good. I like this. Super consistent way of getting kills. And then here, like I said before, you should stick on this layer. You can stay, so like, you know how the circle, most people say like go to the center, and it is true, like, so you can set yourself up to, you know, go faster towards front side or whatever, wherever it pulls. In this specific case, you can hang back towards your side just to make sure height doesn't spray you. Like, for example, height, you know your second height. That's probably why you guys drop, because you know your second height. But I think if you just hover towards backside, they don't see you, because you're literally in like one box, as compared to tarping at like 3 boxes, being a really, really like extended tarp, and it's really obvious to them that you're in like wood as well. So you can just like build this and then just chill like on this floor and just will. You can also chill in this box. It's still in. You can just chill here. You can even build in one more, but yeah.
Even if it pulled there,
Yeah.
you probably, I mean, we had smash as well. We could have maybe like gone under high and ramped them and took it maybe.
Potentially, yeah. So like that's my point, is like staggering. You don't even have to complete the tarp. You can do like this like half tarp that you did, which is like wall floor, and then just lurk. It doesn't even look like a tarp, right? Like if people really pay attention, it doesn't really look like a tarp. You can just lurk, and then maybe if you just splash and chill, they drop past you. They have to drop a lot if it pulls this way, you know? They drop past you, and then suddenly you have height. You don't even need to go up. They just drop past you. And also, I mean, you'll feel a lot safer if you just look up. You'll realize you're right under height, and the chances of them focusing you is really low, even if you're in wood. So that's the big note. Now let's talk about how to prevent those like near death situations. Let's go over those.
And he gets 30 HP?
Yeah, there's like 2 instances that I want to talk about. Maybe 1. Yeah, there was 2, I remember now. Okay, so here, really, like impatient, right? Because like you decided to go ahead. But I think the best thing you could do is a couple things. Make sure you're fully enclosed. Every time you smack a wall, you want to make sure you've dealt with the open areas first, like this, and actually also this. This could potentially you guys over too, like this stuff right here. Right?
Yeah.
So it's literally like, so the reason why it's super important that I mentioned this is because it's literally one build. So mat conservation is not something you should worry about in this case. That also adds a huge amount of effectiveness. Like it's gonna block a very important angle for you. Same goes for this. You should take this back, right? Or like or place the floor or something. You should like make sure you're fully, how do I say it, airtight. There's no gaps, right? This is a gap. So you can also just solve that by taking the wall, and this is a gap. If you do those 2 walls, you're home free. But regardless, like before you break forward, you must take care of those holes, because those are the angles where people will shoot you. If you're looking towards a hole, it's not as concerning because you can sort of react to what's in front of you. But the angles that you can't watch, like this back right angle, it's gonna really be not that good, right? And it's really important why I mention this is because this is how it snowballs into chaos. Okay, so let me explain. When you get hit a lot, right, or 100 plus, let's say, like a significant amount of damage. If you get hit for 50, no one cares, whatever. But if you get hit for like 100 plus, you have to spend time to heal, and usually that time is around 10 seconds. So it's almost like you're timed out, you know? You can't do anything. You can't rotate forward, you can't go for impacts, you fall behind on zone. The whole tempo of the game just messed up because you got hit. And so this often happens where someone gets hit, they don't die from that, but because they lose tempo on zone, they die from that. Right, it's super important that this is avoided. Like, again, get this in the top because it's not airtight. But this was actually, it was airtight. It was just wood. I think that was the issue. But this one, I'm not that concerned about. This one's not that. The top, scary, right? You're looking down. That's okay. You're aware of this side, but the top needs to be covered. Right? Some lurker solo could totally, you know, not get and close it before you go, right? You can start to see the bad habit showing you. Right here, you have 5 builds. You should absolutely either backwards ramp and wall to the side, or wall and floor above you and backwards ramp. Some combination before you address this. Right, you're safe because you're inside. You're airtight. You're fine, right? You're also focusing the only person that's in your range. But this is a very scary. Some solo here. This is how you get killed, right? I personally think those builds will quite literally. Right here, you should just spend 2 wall here on wall back here. But it doesn't matter. Here, you should. It's quite literally 2 builds to fill this gap in. You agree, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a mat conservation issue. He has the build to do it. So floor, wall, and just 1 forward. You're good. Right, and now he gets shots from behind, so that's I mean, it sort of goes back into like airtight, so like 1 wall back here could work, backward stair could work, a lot of things could work here, but essentially also this shot was crazy, but that goes to show, like, if he slightly messed up his aim here, he's just dead. He gets knocked, and then this whole game turns from a 2nd or 1st into 13th or like 10th or whatever, right? So it's very impressive that he hit that shot. Like, kudos to him. Like, amazing. Really, really good. But it goes to show, like, how much hard work or clutch moments you need to actually get into a top 2. That you shouldn't be necessary. Play the game in a way where, like, you don't need to hit that shot. Right? This is obviously very consistent, very good. You notice a third-party opportunity. This is what I was talking about, like, in terms of impact. You notice this opportunity to go for a kill. It's very obvious because you hear, like, gunshots. You hear shotgun specifically because that means they're in a close range fight, not in, like, a long range fight. And so you can open and this is really, really good. Again, another gap that could totally fuck you over, you know? Like, this should be fully closed. You're only focusing here. Why do you need this to be open, right? But, like, essentially, your tarp should only ever have 1 opening, and that's the opening that you're focusing on, right? Every other gap or opening or area where you have a vulnerability should just be closed. Take a look in the other games and see if this pops up again. I'm sort of like low-key hoping it pops up. I'm low-key hoping it pops up again because it's a really clear indication of what your mistake is. What's the gist of mistake from your perspective?
We just from blobbing, it's just like so unpredictable. I had a really bad drop here, but it's very unpredictable, and we just got so split up. And when we regroup, it was just so clustered, and then one of us died, and it's just opening down.
Yeah. Fair assessment. Mid game does seem to be good. Not a lot of fights or whatever. I mean, we'll see. Really hard to say. Yeah, mid game's good so far. Let's skip to 20. Actually, I'll watch this before we go. By a snipe. Yeah. I mean, so far so good here. You heal up before you go. Yeah, you're gonna be forced to go a little bit late because you're healing up. Yeah, so you're getting a little bit focused. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I like your layer because I think basing up on this layer is a mistake. Like next to them, because if you get server sprayed here, they're gonna notice and then spray your floor, and then you just fuck. So I like this layer much better. But like if you get focused, they can't really contribute as much, so it's good. Also, you do have extra mats back here, if I'm not mistaken. No, probably not.
No, they took it.
They took it. Okay, okay.
They were so cringe.
Yeah, this is fun. Don't pulse far. I mean, let's sort of judge this rotate. Like, how I wouldn't just run past the middle, right? Because like, there's so many people in the way.
Yeah.
This sort of rotate, especially because it's like pulled really far. I feel like you're gonna have to checkpoint it, which basically means you're gonna have to go sections. You're gonna have to go in sections. You can't just like make the whole rotate at once, right? You're probably gonna have to go. I do think like going
we went
before,
right.
Yeah, like what, here or like there?
There,
huh? Really depends. There's a lot of teams. Like, so obviously if you go now, you're just gonna get shot by everyone here. So it seems like it doesn't make sense to go early. Let's see. Yeah, I think going as early as possible is like really awkward unless you go after them. Yeah, like once they go like this, then you going after them makes sense because there's less people behind you who are gonna shoot, and then also they're gonna be the focus of the attention of everyone holding, and then you can just go in right after them.
Yeah, true.
I think left could also work equally, by the way. So like, there's no specific difference between here and here. I mean, now there is because this guy boxed, so then right's better. Like that. Here, I think you either drop, like ramping's kind of scary here. You can go up now, yeah. Yeah, beautiful spot. I like it. Where is Mr. Cherry?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is this where he got scuffed because he shot you out of your blob?
Yeah. I think so. I don't remember.
You got AR tagged out of your blob. Here, your right angle is really awkward. You're protected from this guy because of the stair, but I'm really worried about your right.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are gonna shoot you from here. Let's see. That's good.
Oh, I guess right
No
now.
way, yeah. Oh, that's so close. Maybe another 90 on the spot is better. Again, I don't know. This doesn't seem that bad. I think it's okay. It's really awkward to tell, but like at 90 on the spot would be better, and also like maybe you can 90 on the spot if you notice it. It's really tough. He did start spraying exactly when you reached it, so it's really hard to react to. But it totally could have ended. If he had a teammate that was paying attention, you're dead. That's what's scary. That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah.
But his teammate's just AFK. Like he didn't help. Which is why it's so important to be like together. Like those opportunities are so split second, and then he could have got that kill. Good, you survive, yeah.
I mean, we get lucky because some guy dies behind us.
Wait,
but...
what the hell just happened? How is he coming? Oh, you went to get the mats, huh?
Oh no, not now. Soon.
Yeah, but like, why is Raxo coming in late? You see that?
I don't know. I don't really remember.
Oh, he's coming to help you. Yeah. Okay, that's good. It's really good of him, actually. You really came down to like make sure you live. I actually fuck with that. Yeah, that's good.
Ooh, but then it's open everywhere.
Yeah. I think literally 4 more walls, like to the left there, you'll be fine. This scuffs you a little bit. The mid game's not strong at this point, just because of this rotate.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so the rotate was fine. It's just the ending, the very last bit. Oh, this is good. This is a kill. I think you want that. Oh, someone wants that.
We don't get it. We get lucky right before.
Yeah.
Somebody goes on a wall and just dies or something. Yeah, this guy. Jacob.
Nice. You do need these.
But moving starts right now, so...
You gotta Eva come and go. You gotta just pick a spot and just go. I'll be very hesitant to like open... You gotta open the right wall here to make sure. I'm a little worried about this edit. This is exactly what I You should open floor. You should open floor. Double edit this, and then Eva come. Essentially, don't make an edit that someone that can potentially hold, like Jinx, like these guys, can just see. Now it's just obvious that you're coming out here. Like, it's almost like a warning. Like, oh, they're about to come out from this. But if you double edit the floor, it's not obvious from this direction. This is obvious. That's also obvious. These are all just bad edits. This is not as obvious because it's not facing towards the direction. But again, I just like the non-obvious angles. That it makes such a big difference. No one focuses you. But it ends up working out. But again, in the name of consistency, it's a good habit to add into. Yeah, good so far. You can play low here. The only thing I'm concerned about is like, does elevation change happen later towards the zone? The answer is no. And there's no mountainous areas. Low is amazing. Amazing. You just want to play low. Even though it's first moving, I don't think you mind. I really don't think you mind. Yeah, I'm not sure why we left. Like, why not? Is it just the reboot? Like, where are you guys actually? There's a lot of people in front of you. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. So it only works if you consistently stay ahead. But let me just watch it back because it felt like you guys were ahead. I just want to watch it one more time.
I think we were. Yeah,
you quite literally were. So I think here you just stick low. Perfect. If you just stay ahead, low ground, the rule of thumb is like you just need to stay ahead. If you stay ahead, then no one takes it from you, and you have all the benefit of low ground. And I think it's super important because like if it pulls anywhere towards the beach, low ground's just amazing. But I'm a little worried because I feel like blob is not actually a consistent mobility item. After first moving, it's not consistent. First moving, I agree. First moving, I totally agree. Actually, I'll even revise that a little bit. The beginning of first moving, I agree. Even in the second half of first moving, it's way too clustered and way too little like inconsistent. I wouldn't even do it. I would just pretend you don't have that mobility item. Literally pretend it's no mobility meta because I think that's much better to be in. But like all these people are just getting their games fucked by like you, and so obviously it's gonna be the same thing. So I personally think, yeah, just don't use them. Not a good idea.
mean, he was fine, but he went down. If he went up, that would have been good. Cause if you click my name, my layer was so good. I think I'm even second high, and I could get higher probably.
It's just one of those things that like, you guys will naturally split up because it's really hard to use those things, right? It's not like a grappler.
Yeah.
Grappler, you can literally fly through the air. These things, you need some sort of elevation, and it's like the amount of coordination you need is just too much. I think too much coordination is not good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they actually talked about this concept in engineering in one of the classes. Essentially, the idea is like, a good software or a good program doesn't rely on each other. It doesn't have dependence on each other. It has very individual, like independently working modules, okay? And the idea is like, if you have too many things working in conjunction, so for example, like let's say one module fails, then like everything else is just fucked. You don't want that. You want to be able to independently move and be able to like not have too much coordination required. Things that are really hard to pull off, like chrome splashing and trying to meet up later at the exact same position on a higher layer, for example, right? It's really, really hard. It's not easy to pull off. Even a pro team, I would not recommend it to. It's not about practice. It's just like, you're putting yourself in a situation where so many things could go wrong. Don't use something that's really hard to coordinate and it has a lot of susceptibility to getting split up, right? I think it's really hard to split up in first moving. Like the rotate you did earlier was amazing. That's really, really good. And so it's quite literally the only play you have. You're not running that, right? But here, there's just so much clutter. I don't think it's good. Right? I just think you can just skip it completely. Luckily, you come back. And yeah, this is how things go wrong, right? In solos, it's fine because you're not depending on anyone. You're not waiting for a teammate. You're not doing anything wrong. But I think you did that here. Yeah, it's just fucked. Oh my god!
I survived. I don't know how.
I actually clutched.
Yeah.
Again, right? You gotta pick the right decision because, like, in the name of consistency, that could have easily been a death. Raxo could have easily died. There's just so much chaos here. Luckily, you guys re-coordinate and get together. But these, I don't think someone. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. It's just way too chaotic. Again, chrome splash. I think it's a mistake. Again, how are you gonna group up? It's so awkward. Like, it's one of those things. Like, let's say you're moving forward, one AR shot on one of you, and suddenly you're split. Coordination is just gone.
This is so scuffed to get in because he's so small. He just went through the tree and I can't fit it.
Exactly.
And we're just split.
Yeah. I think it's a bait. I think it's better to play, use more mats and get more impacts mentality. And like, as you know, with duos, it's like so important. Solo clutching is a band-aid fix to a mistake you already made, right? It's not a play style. It's not like, oh shit, like our team's really good at solo clutching and that's how we, like, you can be good at solo clutching, but it's like you would much prefer to just be a duo. Once you lose one teammate, the game is like 90% finished, especially in a good lobby, right? And in a shit lobby, obviously you can just like pop off, but like you were gonna win anyway, it doesn't matter. But like, I think in a really good lobby, you need to have both people alive. It is so important, and so that ties into chrome splashes. So what you should do, in my advice, is like, oh, what the fuck? We have 6 chrome splashes. What are we supposed to do with this? Do we just drop it after like first moving? No, I think it has a lot of uses to like almost like act like an armored wall, right?
Yeah. I like gives once.
Yeah, I think it's amazing for that actually. So I think you should just save them for that. You think of it as like an armored wall item slot more than a mobility item.
Yeah. It's also really good because when you have 0 build and you're like hiding somewhere, you can splash it down and people can add it on.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much utility past mobility that I think it's a very versatile item. And just pretend it doesn't have mobility use after. Pretend you just have no mobility. And I think it's a much better mentality to be in. And I'm sure you guys realize this as well, but this is what you should. One of the changes that I think you should make. Was it in rape game? Maybe you remember now.
I don't remember. I think Shambles and Airtight game. I remember that. Yeah. We killed a team and we got so stacked.
Yeah.
And then we just died. And then he hit under the falls. I mean, kind of my bad, but it's also kind of unlucky because you can't build there.
Yeah.
You'll see. But
good boogie. Yeah, you were in the play. Nice.
See that wall?
Yeah.
You can't build on that. And then somebody mantled.
This is basic. This is what do you call? I think like, okay. So first of all, do you know for a fact that you're 2v2 in here in Rape Cave, or do you always? I feel like in Rape Cave you always expect people to like, be in the area. There's always more people in Rape Cave. So here, backwards vamp. or take the wall. Like the very common thing whenever, like, think about what you do when you get an impact in moving, or like, or some place that's like super congested with a bunch of builds. You always make another box, right? So you have space, you have room to breathe. That's the first priority. Looting is never first priority. Should always be make sure you're safe. This should be gone. This is also another risk, right? Like someone crouch walking through this, and this should be gone. You can solve both by just backward jumping, essentially. Yeah. And then they come through. Raxo's kind of low, and all very close.
I had no audio on it. I didn't even know.
And then he pulls up there. Holy shit! Yeah. Because I mean, let's look at Raxo too, because he's the one who essentially got chased down. But I think you guys just need to take those gaps, right? Like the potential like areas where people can just run in onto you. That's the key. Yeah. Take care of that first. Like someone smacking a wall is way easier to defend than someone running in through a gap or shooting you through a hole, right? Because at least with the wall, you have a heads up. And this fight was just overall, it was good. Yeah, so first order of business after this is not looting. You need to claim this. You need to claim this, and then you're good. And then place floor above you. You're good. You block this off, and what you do is what I said earlier, and you're good. Yeah, right? You just need to make it airtight. Same thing, right? You want your notification of someone, a third party, not being someone hitting you, but someone hitting your wall. Because now you can react, right? If someone hits you first try and that's your notification, okay, yeah, you're fucked. It's really hard. Like, there's gaps everywhere. There's gaps everywhere, and it's really obvious. And so I think that's the first order of business. You had 5 to 10 seconds, and same with you. You have 5 to 10 seconds to take care of that stuff. That's really easy to do. The loot is not the most important thing. So he's good. In this case, he's good. I think, yeah, it's very obvious to me. I mean, it happens in Endgame too. Overall, you guys as players do not respect open areas, right? You have to be scared of them. You're not scared enough of non-airtight areas. This is something you sort of, I mean, not really, but like if you scrim a shit ton, right? Like a ton in endgame and mid game and stuff, you'll realize this to be a mistake because it's like so many instances where your games become inconsistent because of open areas. Now, luckily for you guys, it's not as bad because this is like 7 minutes, but I'm more worried about the habit than this game itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The habit shows itself in endgame too. It's essentially what I'm saying. So it's affecting other places as well. So it's like super, you have to realize, okay, like I can't be having open areas. That's how I die. So I mean, this game's over for sure. Yeah, if you've auto reviewed 6 games and it's 6 different reasons why you died, good luck, you're fucked. You might as well quit. Like, it's fucked, bro. It's really hard. It's really hard to fix like 6 different things.
It kind of milks you, but it's fine. You kind of 1v2, which is really good.
Yeah.
It's just a mistake on my end. I got too greedy, which is not good.
I can't tell. Is there gaps there? Like holes? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just got too greedy for the kills.
Oh, that was so close. You know what you could do actually is like do exactly what you did, but then after you're pumped, don't commit, right? Like so. This is a lot of players are really good at the higher level at doing this. Like I noticed a lot of tier 1s being extremely good, but like you should not in your head. You should not commit to a play. You should almost be like, if I hit my shot, I AR. If I don't hit my shot, I exit out the back behind him. Does that make sense? Like in your head, that's what you should be thinking. Okay, cool. Missed. Okay, you should be here now. Because there's no way you out DPS even the 1v1. Ignore the teammate. Just the 1v1 when he hasn't shot yet and you missed your shot.
Yeah.
Right? He fucked up because he didn't even shoot. So okay, whatever. But it's like now it's just a 50-50, right? You wouldn't want that, right? And you know his teammate's coming. His teammate's is gonna get there soon. So in this case, because you missed and you can't insta kill him, you just get out. Right? Even if you hit him for like 50 with your shotgun, you still get out. If you hit him really hard and you can finish this fight and then flip cone or do something crazy like kill him quick and then just defend, then you're good. But luckily you get 1 for 1. That's really good, and Raxo cleans up. Oh my. He was missing too though. That's not a worry. Good. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. But yeah, it's those like split second decisions like, oh, I missed my shot, I must get out. And then like not get fucked over by his body block, like really hard left and go around him. And also like the reason why back at it is really nice is because then he has to 180, like he's gonna miss as well.
Yeah.
It's really nice that way.
We got high here, but then I'd like to know how to like just
yeah for sure. So I'm sure you get a refresh, like you go back, get max mats and sit up here. That's why you built so much. And let's see, I'm imagining you pull, as otherwise you wouldn't ask this. Okay, cool. So the question is, Do you actually have height for endgame yet? Yes or no?
Not yet.
Good.
Not yet.
Why?
There's nothing set up.
Yeah, I mean, you're set up on this side, right? So, but essentially, you're gonna pull height, and you're gonna be able to keep it if and only if it pulls this way, right? Like, what's gonna end up happening if I had to predict? Oh, you're on the bottom side, actually. Okay, I realized. Okay, so there could be an opposite height here. If there's no opposite height here, maybe you can keep it. But I actually think, okay, so I mean, in this case, it's pulling this way. So you just need to make sure you own height this here, right? This is a very common scenario where like you'll have height on one side, and then the other side, if someone cranks up here, you can't really defend so too big an area, right? You're gonna have opposite height. You're gonna have a height here and then a height here, right? Then if moving zone pulls anywhere in this direction, you're good to go, right? Because then you're ahead compared to them, and you can just keep height. If it pulls towards them, then you're kind of fucked. So what you could do, knowing this, is just focus all your pressure on number one, making sure no one ramps you from this side, because there's most of the people over here, but also just pressuring with Chrome AR, which is also really like such a grief weapon. Like you can just spam them, especially because you have max AR. Just make sure no one goes on height here, because that's really the threat. That's the only way you lose height. So maybe go up a little bit higher. I would even argue, right? Go up like 1 or 2, or just bully people. Make sure they don't ramp you. Yeah, and definitely watch out for snipe, because getting knocked is another way to lose height.
Right before moving, like I waited, because if it pulls anywhere behind us, I instantly ramp.
Yes.
So I just waited for that.
That's for true. That's really true.
I don't know how we got retaked, so I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I think you have to bully. Like, I'm not as worried. Like, this may just happen without you even if you try to stop it. Like someone taking height here, so don't worry too much about that. Just defend height here. That's what I would say.
Sure.
Oh, these guys are gonna ramp you, aren't they?
I think
they might.
He says that there's other height, and then I just ramp them. I think.
Let's take a look. I mean, I'm most worried about them right now, because they're literally, if you think about layering, they're just one layer behind you. They can easily ramp.
Yeah.
What you should do in this case is like, it's also risky, but like you can have one person sit on top of them, and one person here. You own most of the area. However, the problem is they might double spray up. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, but they kind of indicated they don't want height, because they kind of built 2 ramp like walls.
Yeah.
So I don't think they want to decrease for it just yet. But
backing, okay, you're good. Also here, they can just ramp up to the top of this if they notice that you're not up there. But let's see. Maybe it's a different team that actually comes up. I feel like they're the biggest threat. I'm really worried about them. Yeah, it has to be them, no? Okay, you're fine. Okay, both knocks. I wouldn't keep height here. Would I? No, you can keep it. It's duos, you're max mats. It's duos, you're fine. Yeah, you can keep it. You don't have to chrome splash this. That's what I was gonna suggest, but like, you just keep it. I think you're fine. Oh shit, they just fucking cranked. Oh my goodness. I mean, good on them. It's definitely the right play. They paid attention and they noticed. And they cranked a lot. Like, they were bottom. I'm sure you guys weren't worried, like, you know, for good reason. But wow. I mean, the issue, no way. I thought he died. The issue is there needs to be someone up here defending it. Right? Like, essentially why he went back, or why Raxo went back, is probably because he thought, I mean, I would have thought the same thing, honestly. Like, these guys were not going to crank like 10 blocks and get up to you guys, but they just did. Now you just lose height, yeah. You just need to have someone here paying attention, that's it. Like, it's like, if you both go back, now, even if you tarped ahead, you don't own it, right? Someone could just crank like this. It is really unlikely, but they happen to notice, so now it's awkward.
Yeah.
So I think you give up on this plan, you refresh, and you need to chrome splash. But you should not, I think, did he survive here? Yeah, he's fine. But yeah, you need to play chrome splashes here.
So there he should have stayed front when I went for the mats.
Yeah, I mean, how are you gonna catch up with him? You don't have chrome splash, right? So he needs to wait for you. You guys need to do it together. Like, once you realize height is gone, that's fine. Just go back to here. Go back to your chrome splash from this angle. Like, just go down and chrome splash from here, right? But you guys need to do it together. It's awkward for you to catch up. You have to spend a little bit of mats. You do a good job. You don't have to spend that much. And you group up together. Okay, good. Game is saved. It's fine. It obviously would have been much better if you kept tight, but it's okay. Good layer. Layer's fine here. You just need to pay attention and watch out. Yeah, it's just fine. gonna slow down. Essentially, it's one of those games where it's like, that's what I was thinking about. It's like, yes, it would have been a super easy game if you just kept tight, but it's like, it's still very, very winnable from the position you received after messing up height. You know what I mean? It's not like why you lost. It's why it's hard, not why you lost. And for sure, you could have a very easy game if those guys didn't notice. Chrome splashes, I don't like it. I think dropping is just the same thing. You can spend the same amount of mats. Yeah, I think just get rid of chrome splashes, but good tarp, yeah. There's a team on your left. Nice attempt, cancel, it didn't work. Like once they know, right? Like once you gave it away that you're going for them, give it a break, because like they're clearly on guard right now. So you just need to go after someone else. Come back to them if you want to later. Time is very, very valuable in endgame. You want to allocate it to the right thing. Right here, you just wait, because I think chaining players is just scary. Like there's teams below and above you. Just wait here, and be very, very ready. Like if it pulls forward, you have this path. No way they open for it, right? You're fine.
That's what I said. I said 6 seconds. Just wait. Just wait.
I agree. And it pulls back, perfect, you're fine. You just need to find your path. I'm sure there's like some tarp here. Also, if you can find the path to get back up to your boxes up top, wherever they were, that'll be ideal. But like, because it does pull up the hill. Like if you look at endgame, or like where it ends up, it's up the hill. That's the first thing you should notice whenever zone pulls, by the way. It's not the direction. Where's the terrain? Right? It pulls uphill. If you go down to where the low ground is, it's like it's uphill. So and there's old builds, right? So essentially here, you need to work your way up. Right, it's gonna do really, really good for you. If you don't do this, it's gonna be really bad. So if you don't notice terrain, this could get you killed. You need to start working up. Good impact, amazing. Now just like take this as your tarp, I believe. Take this and then go up. Start working up. Get up layer. Not only is it gonna be way less congested if you do that, because usually second, third height is way less congested compared to like bottom 3 layers, but also it's just matching the terrain. That's really the main reason. That chrome slash there is good. I mean, just like get rid of everyone's edits.
Yeah.
No, this game is so free. So free.
Yeah.
I don't like left. Think of where reserve zone's going. Right? You're going into closing side. You want to go right and up. There's no way you take this tarp. Yeah, good. Yeah. Right? I think if you can get up to there, I can see that. That's really nice.
Yes, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Thank.
Just keep staying ahead. You also need to cut right early, because it's like this always happens where people, it's the illusion of you guys are ahead, but it's not actually, because ahead is like over here. This is really where the closest to zone is, right? But it's like you think you're ahead, but really you're like on the side. You know what I mean? But it's because the zone's going diagonally. You need to cut right soon. Yeah, good. You need to go up earlier, I think. Yeah. You need to get up earlier. I think you can chill here. Yeah. The issue is like, okay, if it pulls up, you're just dead, but you can deal with that later. It's not that bad. You also essentially you spent a lot of mats here. You don't want to rebox, and you might as well just play in the build. It's not bad. Yeah, that's okay. You don't really need to impact that urgently. I mean, it would be nice to have more mats, but it's like it's at the stage of the game where a lot of people just died, and even 40 builds is good. Okay, they know. Cancel the play. I won't even go for it anymore.
Yeah, when I left it, I knew that we needed to get up because we were already delayed. You kind of get tunnel vision here and just dies.
Yeah, it's really consistency, right? It's like you didn't set up for the worst case scenario, which is it pulls up and over the hill, and then it's just like now you just die. Now it's over. Now it's just truly over.
Yeah.
The only play I can see, no, it's hard. I was gonna say you can go around, but the zone takes forever to go up and over. Even around doesn't work. So yeah, that's why I think it's quite lit. Mistake is not here. It's in the previous moving, where you set up your box. If you're on Brick Slayer, which by the way, notice how uncongested it is, because everyone's like, look where everyone is. Everyone's dead. Except Hyde, everyone's dead. Right? Yeah. And maybe you just play heal off knowing that, but I think just the better solution overall is be this team or this team, and you're gonna have a good time. But you guys are just way too low. So, like this is the lesson, right? It's not actually the same mistake as other games, but essentially, when zone pulls, the first thing you should notice is terrain change. Because it essentially it's like a game plan generator, right? If you understand where the elevation change is happening, like, is it going really far uphill? Ping it, notice what layer it's going up, right? Really understand, is it going up a hill, right? Or is it going downhill? Like, what's happening with the terrain? Because if you really understand or are aware of that, then you can come up with the right answer in terms of what you need to be doing, right? If you don't have that information of like really how far up is it going, right, then you're not going to be able to come up with the right game plan, even if you're like the world's best IGL. If you just don't have the information, it's really hard. So every time zone pulls, the first thing you do is, obviously direction is important, but elevation change. Like, okay, what is it going up or down? That's really something you cannot ignore, right? So clearly you guys knew we went uphill. It's just like really awkward now, right? It's really awkward to like really go up.
I thought he got tunnel vision. Like he was thinking of.
No, he's following you. Yeah. I mean, the idea is like, yes, you can make it happen, but again, in the name of consistency, like, it's really hard to make it happen now, right? Like, try to get through. It almost has to depend on a little bit of like timing and luck. Like, unfortunately, it's just so congested down here that I think everyone's just gonna die. Like, these guys are dead. You guys are just forced to fight because you guys are on the same layer, all trying to go up. And even now, you have your work cut out for you. Like, it's not over yet, you know.
Just even like 20 builds is worth. You shouldn't go for a kill. Just stay front.
Yeah. Because essentially, it's like everyone's gonna die anyways. My instinct as a tarper is like, everyone's fucking dead. Even like 10 builds is gonna be amazing. As long as you can get up the hill and end up with 10 builds, you're fine. The first thing is this. Let's say it pulls up a hill. Like, actually, I'm like a huge one, right? Because that's really what happened. You don't want to just get up to like here. It's not good enough. Essentially what you guys did, because then later if it pulls in the same direction, it actually went it's even bigger hill, but now you have to get up even more. You want to set up like really high. And actually, even bigger point, we're pulling back onto the hill, which means there's a bunch of builds, right? Like, everywhere. There's a bunch of old builds everywhere, which means like second height is safer than usual. Does that make sense? Right? Because there's old build. Like, no way height's gonna spray through like hard brick, hard metal. There's no way, right? So you can go sit in that and come flash it if you need to, but essentially you just need to get up a shit ton of layers because of that. Because of those two reasons. Number one, it pulls back into old builds, but number two, it goes up a hill, right? And so let's say it's a situation where it goes up a hill, but it doesn't pull back through old builds. It's a new hill, right? So there's no old builds. Okay, now you're scared to like go up really, really early. Maybe you just want to chill right here, but you don't want to be second height focused, right? But like, because it pulls back through old builds and goes super far uphill, then yeah, you can quite literally do like, I'll try to put it into perspective, like make it smaller. You can literally go ham, right? You can these are all old builds up here. You can just chill up here, right? Like, even the guy who made it, I think he could have gone up further. Let's go back and show you. Go back down here. Even the guys I showed like as an example on like who's on a good layer, they could have even kept going up. I would argue it's even better. Brick. Like, look, he could chill in here, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then he's safe. Like, look, it's even this is not good enough. Like, it's still like not lined up with low ground, but like it shows you like how far up it really went up a hill. That's why this whole lobby's just dead. Which is also the reason why you only need 10 builds, because I know this whole lobby's dead, right? Because every time it pulls up an extreme hill, the game ends early, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the fact, like, it's kind of weird because like, if it pulls through old builds, it extends the game because not a lot of people have to, you know, tarp. They can save mats, and so it becomes like kind of heal off. But then it also goes up a really far hill, so they kind of cancel out, if that makes sense. A little weird. But yeah, I would just be aware of the elevation change. It's like, notice something. Remember my whiteboard, my whiteboard video? You remember that?
Yeah.
What was my number one priority in Endgame?
Front. Tarping.
No, do you remember like the list of 5 things? I'll literally pull it up. Actually, let's do that. Like, Endgame was super simple. Like, I didn't write a bunch of notes, but essentially I wrote 5 things on the side in terms of like what are your priorities in Endgame. And the number one reason, I will literally die on this hill. It's so important. You go here and look at the right. You see number 1 and 2 actually.
Awareness of zone.
Yeah, awareness of zone, and then awareness of elevation changes. Right? And so for more advanced players, number 2 becomes more and more important, because like awareness of zone is like a given. You guys are like obviously at the point where you're like you're paying attention to zone when it pulls, but you're not paying attention to elevation changes or appreciating what it actually means, right? You should also pay attention to, does it pull back through old build? That's also important, right? Because that changes the game. That means you can go to like really high heights, like you can play second height, you're not worried. Like, that's essentially what it says. And I want to make the point that like I'm aware of this instinctually without going drone free. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But that's the area that that's the level that you should be able to get to, because as a tarper it helps so much to understand these things, right? like my issue as a player is not these things. I feel like I have a really good how do I say it? Awareness for these things. It's my ability to execute on it, which is why I'm much better as a coach. Like I just feel like I can tell people to do it instead of trying to execute on it. But you guys are just better mechanically. You guys are better fighters. Like if you get this part right, like literally nothing wrong going for you. Like you're gonna pop off for sure. But yeah, like the first two priorities in Endgame, the way I list it is awareness of zone, like when it pulls, be aware, like on the second that it pulled, and also more importantly, sometimes, especially for a more advanced player, is awareness of elevation changes. Like don't fuck that up either. This can get you killed, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially the gist of this game. It's a different mistake in my opinion. It's not the same as the other one.
When you remember when you were coaching me in Frosty and what's it called? And you said like he shouldn't even like look really that much for hills. He should just like stick on me like glue. Do you think that's still like important?
Yeah. I mean, with Raxo, it seems like kind of similar, but it's not as bad as I would say Frosty. Frosty would do that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like Raxo, I only remember one instance where he did that, but like, in my opinion, he's sticking on you much better, and also, like the biggest thing is like, oh, your third mistake, fuck chrome slashes. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But essentially, yeah, I think he's sticking on you much better, and also like he's just following much better. So I'm not too worried about that. There's only one instance in like game 1 where I saw it, but other than that, it's fine. What the fuck? It's this guy running it. I don't know. Thank you. Window could be good. Even that could be bad. Like I like window better than this. But like if someone's super close to a wall, window is like extra. Middle window would do. That was not a bad idea. You could not see it. And right here, middle window would do. Right? Because like you're not worried about making a wall weak. Like essentially the whole reason why you would ever do a wide edit is to make sure that he misses it. Like if you're trying to take your wall, or he has pickaxe out. But in this case, you know neither, right? But in this case, like windows are really good if they're like super close to you, because I don't think they can replace. You can only run forward or try to break like that. But like it's just better in my opinion. And also like it's more likely that they get. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like if you open a window while they're hugging a wall, usually they get blocked off more often than like if they're like a little bit further back. Like a window is best used when you're further back, but if they're like hugging it, you can catch their arm, you can catch their shoulder, and they can't see you at all. Here he just gets a good trade because of the poor editor. I try pre-fire, I would just double edit down, make a hard map box, and start to heal. Playing in wood is just awkward. You come over, but I mean, like if you want this fight to go well, this trade had a lot to do with it. Because now he's out of the fight for a while, and so it becomes grief because of that reason. Like, if he doesn't, like, that guy's fucking up. You have to realize that. Like, whoever this is, he's just trolling. He's alone, he's making bad choices, not diagonal box fighting you at all, and he is very susceptible to losing the fight. If Raxo punishes him quickly, and does it properly, right? Like, this fight is just over. It's clean fight, you guys literally get an impact, right? But it's you just have to make the right choice here. That's why fighting is still so important. Even if you're not a team that W keys, it's still important to know how to fight.
Yeah, that's what
this trade alone is everything.
Yeah.
But now it's just 1v2.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, knowing that he's out of the fight, I would not go after them. You should play defense with him, essentially.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe he comes, I hit him 100. I don't know what he comes, but it really depends on that. Maybe he comes like he's one shot. Like I have no idea. Sometimes people do that. I do that too. But like I think it's bad sometimes. Like if you give misinformation, like maybe you're going after him because he's super low. But I mean, we heard some splashes. He's healthy again. He's not. It's a 1v2, so you need to box up next to him. The problem is if these guys know what they're doing, the splashes, and they haven't heard him splash. Oh my god, it's so free for them. Right? Straight up, like, just pressure. You're on the offense. Like you're winning on HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can't fight, but I think the biggest thing is the trade. Even if you don't fight, it's still losing. Like they can just pressure you. It's really awkward. You know? But if you want any chance in this fight, I don't think you can fight. There's mistakes on both ends. Trade is bad, and then also you accelerate your loss by jumping forward or going for a play. Yeah, they get the one kill. Yeah, this game's fun. yeah, I really want to, let's drill down on this because it's a fighting mistake. So I feel really confident teaching fighting stuff. I don't know why, even though I'm not actually a good fighter myself. Like in terms of relative to all the other skills that I have, I feel really comfortable teaching fighting. So talk about what Raxa did. So he's in wood. First mistake, I think I would get into brick, literally make another box. 2x1 is much stronger in general. They said it was amazing, love it. And then he pumps the wall. His shotgun's not ready. Just make a window. Obviously, Prime shoots much faster, so I would not make this window here. If that is perfectly like for him, he can shoot you. Middle, and then also stand a little bit to the right. Literally perfect right hand peek. This is just
that's 50-50, right?
If anything, it's an advantage to him, but Raxo will still get a shot off because he doesn't have a reset or a cone flip, right? But yeah, like T-Sin will hit him first. Like if anything, the enemy has the advantage. It's not even a 50-50. I would argue it's like Raxo's at disadvantage because he has his gun out. Raxo has to pull it out, you know. So I think it's like. Like if there was something that T-Sin could flip, I'll give you a good example. Maybe he was standing diagonal, right, and could like reset a wall or like could place a wall. Then T-Sin would be really well off. Like get a free shot and not take any damage at all. You could also like top row at it, but like that's still risky. You could also okay, so the idea that he's standing super close to your wall, right? It's super hard to replace a wall if you're standing close to it. So if you as Raxo know that it's hard for him to replace, you could do the bait, which is basically top row at it, reset really quickly, he pumps by accident, and then you do a white at it. That works. That also works.
Yeah.
Like the only concern with that play would be him replacing, right? Obviously, so like it gets really weak. He pumps and then replaces your wall. Okay, now it's really hard. But because he's standing so close, he can pull it off. Okay, that's super complicated solution. I actually just really like the window. I think that's just the best play to do. Just make the window, or like peanut butter, stand a little bit more to the right. Like window's just best. I just love it. But yeah, just issue that one trade where all the tempo is lost in the fight. Where like you guys have to heal a shit ton, and then they can just splash a couple times and you're good. Even if you guys have splashes, you had your work cut out for you though. Even if you have 6 splashes. Yeah. Trading is everything, man. Like people who fight really slowly and have really shit mechanics, but they know how to trade, they will be fine in that fight. You know what I mean? It's not about how fast you can go in creative. It's about the decisions you make in trading and stuff. That's super important. That's why I like realistic sometimes over PGs, because realistic punishes you if you make a bad trade, whereas PGs you don't really whatever. I mean, PGs without minis is like kind of the same thing, but yeah. Any questions, man? I mean, your top 3 mistakes are simple. There are some niche mistakes that I'll mention, so I'll make like two small lists maybe. So final conclusion. Top 3 mistakes I would say is Airtight. We'll keep it really simple. I mean, you understand what I mean by this, right? Like, no,
I do.
Elevation changes. I guess this should be good enough. And last one, there is one more. Stop using from splash as mobile after. You can use it if double pull happens. Front side, left side, space. And I think this is your top 3 mistakes. And niche mistakes, if you really want to do it, but I would just focus on this because these are also really replicable. But niche mistakes, trades in fights, stay. How do I'm trying to remember some other ones. Oh, height holding. Put up on height, so you can get flankers plus head crankers. I've never used this term before, but yeah. Do you remember anything else? I think that's about it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, quite literally. Like there's not something crazy. I would mostly focus on this, but if you need to like worry about, if you need to remember this, I'll write this as well. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, I think everything else is fine. But yeah, this is it. I will copy paste this for you. Bad trade in a fight. Poor edit decision. That's it. Like I still think even if you don't make your mistake, you're still fucked. Like that's why I think that's more important. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Yeah, if you remember or come up with later, as usual, you can always DM me. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, of course. I'm very happy that we got this VOD done. I think this, if you fix this, you're gonna do very, very well. You're gonna be super consistent. These are your top 3. Sounds good. All right, man. We'll talk soon. All right.
All right, later.
Bye.